Okay. Well, first, I'd like to begin with congratulating a lot of our colleagues on campus in their sports. Our women's basketball team had a really nice win yesterday. Softball went 4-1 in Vegas, which is a huge, great start. And women's tennis had a win. And then Maida Pop set a record in the 5K and track. Both our men's and women's team took fourth in the indoor. So a lot of really good things happening on campus. And, of course, we're proud of our win, too. But there's so many good things happening here, the trajectory of our university, our athletic programs, and so much of it comes from the commitment of our fans. And I'd really like to highlight that. I thought in the second half in our game against Charlotte, our fans really stepped up, helped us step up defensively and get some really key stops against a very good Charlotte team to propel us to a very good victory that now that we need to draw from as we go on the road for 2 this week. So that's a challenge in front of us, and we're looking forward to it.
I know getting road wins is hard in college basketball, but your team seems to be a completely different team when they're on the road versus at home. Is that just part of the nature of having a younger team, or how do you explain being able to beat some of the best teams in conference at home and then go on the road and struggling with some of the other teams?
I absolutely think there's a level of maturity that comes with that. There's, especially on the defensive end, because to win on the road, you have to be able to take the best shot from the other team offensively in the gym that they're used to shooting countless more shots than anywhere else. And so we have not done that regularly enough. And we've done it in moments at certain games. We've had some nice stops, but our defensive inconsistencies really loom large on the road. And we've got to be able to fix that, and that comes from growth. And I'm going to practice today, share, even in the other, in our last game, we were much better in the second half than the first, and thankfully we were able to figure that out as the game went on. But on the road, you cannot afford to get in these big holes, and we've done that to ourselves.
Your last 3 games were opponents you were facing for the second time. You get 2 wins out of that. UTSA, another opponent you've already seen. With it being such a young group, how are you using the quote-unquote experience you guys have, having played these teams before, in your preparation?
It's really important because you can see, and everybody, depending on the schedule, there's been in some weeks between our games, so people adjust. I know their starting lineup's a little bit different. They had one player that was hurt that's now healthy. But really the overall makeup of the team is the same and what they like to do. They're coming off a really good win at North Texas, which is a really hard place to play. They won a gritty game. But we did not defend them well in that game. We absolutely shot the ball extremely well. And that's great, and we love to do that. But we've got to find a way to be grittier on the defensive end. They hurt us in a number of areas. We've got to be able to shore that up. And then we've got to be ready for some of the things that they're doing now, that they're doing well. So we just got to defend a whole lot better on the road.
As conference play is kind of getting closer to coming to an end towards conference tournament, how important is it to kind of get on a roll a little bit and take some momentum through the last part of the conference and into conference tournament?
You know, I had a meeting this morning more about logistics of the conference tournament and traveling, hotel, just some of those types of things. But we're really, with this group, and always, we're just really focused on trying to have a great practice today and try to get this one on Wednesday, because that's the most important game. There's so many things that are left to be decided in seeding. You look at our league, I mean, the parity in our league right now is really incredible. With the teams that are winning games. And so we just want to be able to find a way to not cure, but just improve in some of our areas that we need to get better at. And if that can then result in a win on Wednesday, well, then let's keep trying to multiply and just keep trying to get a little bit better, because that'll help us.
Who's kind of really standing out to you right now? At this point in the season, obviously Jared had a huge game, but consistently, who's standing out to you right now and why?
Well, PJ's been our most consistent and in scoring, and he does it in a number of different ways, getting to the free throw line. Of course, Jared Garcia had one of the all-time great performances on Saturday. I mean, he go 10 of 11 from the field, and not just around the basket, but outside too. The dunks he had, I mean, he played with such energy, and that was really good to see. And we want to be able to build off of that. But we're getting contributions from guys. We just need everybody to step up a little bit more. And the word that you've heard me say, I don't know, of a dozen times already, consistency or inconsistency, we need to be more consistent. And we need guys to be able to step up and just know that, hey, this is what we're going to get. And it may not always be the same points per game, but we've got to have the same type of impact on the game with the energy, the effort, the intensity. And that's whether the ball's going in the basket or not.
Last one for me. Can I do it? Having watched you guys so closely last season, there were times in conference play where if you were down by that much at half, people would not necessarily expect a comeback. For you as coach, how gratifying or how do you feel getting down by that much multiple times throughout conference play and being able to get your team to come back and just win in conference play?
Yeah, how do I feel about that? Well, I feel really good about finding a way at the end. I do feel, and again, as we talked about the consistency, and I told our team after the game, like, we've got to find a way to put together a full 40. Because we do that, I really believe that we could go on a run. But I do feel really proud in our group about, even though you got to give credit to the other team too. They can come out and play great. Like, we can't just dismiss how another team plays, but for them to stick with it and to stay together and keep pushing and just keep chipping away. And we've had a number of those instances this year. We have had some moments too where we've kept the lead, but we've been able to find and figure things out. And that is really, really a great characteristic of our group. Again, our challenge is we want to be able to, from the beginning, and then just try to, without having any hiccups and so forth. But that's life. You have adversity. You've got to be able to push. But I'm really proud of this group for as young as they are to not be like, all right, this wasn't our game today. This wasn't our day, and let's just pack it in. These guys keep pushing. They keep fighting.
Anything else, Coach?
Coach, is it fool's gold or kind of silly in this league especially and in this day and age to compare scores? 107 to 68, UTSA, then they go up and take FAU to overtime. I mean, is it almost silly to compare scores anymore?
I wouldn't call it silly. I mean, I think it's always important to then peel back the layers and figure out what happened and why. But there is so much uncertainty. Like, you just see the most different games in this league. Some teams that play slow, some teams play fast. We get two teams that play fast together. You could see higher possession and bigger scores. Two teams that play slow together, it could be a really low scoring game. And then we are dealing with people, and people are just every day can be a little bit different. But I know for us, and looking at our first game with UTSA, that was a long time ago. We're going to take things from it. But this is a whole different game, and this is at their place, and we've got to play better. And I have great respect for Coach Henson and the job he does, and he's got his team going to North Texas, and we know how good they are from seeing them here at our place, and they get a 2-point win at their spot. So we're going to be absolutely showing our team the type of gritty plays that they made, because we've got to be able to go do that on Wednesday at their place.
Anything else?
Thank you, everybody.